Hi, so I've worked on some of the speaker chips in the veneer and put a little filler in there, and that's going to get sanded out to the little spots. One of the tricks to putting in a filler is to use a damp surface and then dampen your fingers, and that way it doesn't stick so much. You don't end up with too much filler on the unit you're working on. What I used was actually this particular item here, which is an epoxy putty. You just sort of mush it up in your fingers, and when it dries hard. Now the color is way off, of course, as you can see here. And this is where you get a little creative and use some stains and some magic markers or what have you to color it out so it matches in and blends in. I've taken some time on my speaker project to do a little thinking before I approach a restoration or a rebuild of something like a speaker cabinet. Outside of the electronics, I mean, the thing about this particular cabinet is the quality of the wood veneer. Well, maybe I should say not necessarily the quality of the wood veneer, but the fact that it's not overly damaged. The veneer itself is extremely thin. I mean, these were not awesome units when they were produced in 1980 by the Radio Shack company. They were probably made for Tandy. It was a stereo company or speaker company. I'm going to talk a little about how I quickly clean up something in such good condition. I don't want to damage it. I don't want to over sand or do anything like that. First and foremost, I want to clean it up. There's oils, there's smoke, there's debris that's built up over a long time on the wood grain of the veneer. So I'll show you two things that a lot of people use. Mineral spirits and alcohol, both are pretty good for cleaning something up. Mineral spirits does leave a small oil residue. Basically, a denatured alcohol is going to evaporate much faster and it's not going to leave any oily residue. So I'm going to show you the differences. Okay, you probably won't even see it, but we'll take a dirty spot like that one and see what happens. Okay, so we're just going to clean up this spot here and see the difference between mineral spirits and denatured alcohol. So I'm going to take a little mineral spirits here, put it on a rag. I'm going to do this one-handed, that's kind of fun. And like I say, mineral spirits has a bit of an oily finish, okay? Certainly gives you an idea of what the grain will look like when it's finished properly, and since this is such good condition, it'll probably be a simple restoration job with an oil and a wax product that's a combination of that. Okay, so there you go. That has an oily finish left on it, and now let's see what some rubbing alcohol does. So I've got some alcohol, denatured alcohol on a rag. Just gonna rub that on there. Oh, I can certainly feel it raises the grain more, but it evaporates at a completely different rate, and does show some. It does lift some of the dirt and the grime over the years. Oh, alcohol there, mineral spirits. I'm actually going to rub the mineral spirits with the alcohol now. Okay, so the entire side of this cabinet has been rubbed down. Half of it has been rubbed with mineral spirits, the other has been rubbed with the rubbing alcohol. I can tell you the texture. So on the rubbing alcohol side, or denatured alcohol, there certainly has a bit of a raised texture. And like I said, mineral spirits, a bit of an oily finish. Yeah, and I can certainly feel that. So after rubbing down this side of the cabinet with mineral spirits and then denatured alcohol, to show you the difference and also to clean it up, I've rubbed it down a couple times and changed to clean cloths in between. You see there's certainly a lot less filth coming off, or grime, and it'll dry out nicely. It could be a little pale when it dries, and we'll find out, but that just means because it's thirsty. You can certainly see how the grain is popping for this. I'm really happy for this find. This is gonna look nice, refinished with a walnut restore. So I've just been working on the top of this cabinet, and you can see like some spots here. These are little water drop or white stains from water on the veneer. This has been, you can see a little ghosts of some stuff. I mean, this hasn't been taken care of in a long time, but they're so faint that a restore product that I'm going to use that has a bit of a stain in it. We're breathing new life into something. We're not trying to recreate it per se. At some point you have to decide whether a project becomes a restoration or more of an act of creativity. And this one, considering the fact that it's pretty much gutless, it's gonna be something. I'm gonna probably end up creating something with it, because I've been looking into some higher end componentry to put in there. Okay, so yeah, this one's gonna clean up real nice, very nicely. So this is the cheap, the walnut veneer that's been lightly sanded with a 400 grit sandpaper and denatured alcohol just to clean up the debris. It's very, very fine. As I said earlier, the veneer is in very good condition considering the quality of it. So before I do a restoration on it, I'm actually going to add some teak oil to it, or to revitalize it, before I do a restoration product on it, which will include sort of a wax. So you can see how thirsty this veneer is, and how nice it's going to look in the end when we get it all finished up. I'm just gently rubbing the wood. I'm not putting too much pressure on it or anything like that. And with teak oil, the veneer just needs time to absorb. I'll come back to it later after it's been absorbed and then wipe it down a little more vigorously with maybe a microfiber cloth. But this certainly gives us the look that I want in the finished project. Yeah, that's thirsty. I just wanted to show the difference between the veneer after it has received some replenishment, and what I've added to the one here on the left is some teak oil after giving the veneer just a very, very light sanding, actually with a 400 grit, ridiculously light, but you can compare just how, you can just see how adding teak oil to the veneer really revitalizes it. That's hasn't been, no work's been done on this particular unit, but you can see the side there. It looks nice. I don't know if you can see it though in the light.